Hello and welcome to part 4. I think it's part 4, it might be part 5, who cares. So, Mk4 Supra, 1UZ engine. Not a very common swap, but few people have done it. And because I've had a few questions why you're doing it, well, just because I want to. I like a challenge, and putting a 2J, easy enough. The hard part is just finding all the right parts, but everything else is just bolt on. So that's not very interesting. V8, more fun, personally. I think so, and I can put turbos on it later on if I want to. So anyway, that out of way. As you can see, the inlet manifold is off again. So the gaskets, I think I mentioned it in the previous video, not too sure. But I've ordered the new inlet manifold gaskets and also realised that I broke or stripped the threads on those two little fellas there. So I had to order a helical kit, drill out the holes slightly bigger, which is quite scary if I'm honest, drilling into an engine, but seems to have worked. So those two threads at the back have been repaired successfully. While taking off the starter motor, which I've also decided to get rebuilt, managed to strip that, which is not a big issue. Just need to redo the connection there, and then the inlet manifold will be able to go back on. I have decided on purpose not to do the cam cover gaskets because I'm sick of just thinking of more and more jobs to do and never getting closer to actually getting the engine in the car. And I think should be alright to do the gaskets later on when the engine is in the car at some point. Moving back to the inlet manifold. So I've ordered AN6, so it's M14 by 1.5, which is the thread pitch adapter. So this is that's the main fuel line into the fuel rail, and I'm going to be running AN line, steel braided line, I think it's called. So I'm going to be running that, and I needed this adapter. I am still one adapter short, is to go from this type of adapter to an AN line. So I think I need female AN6, something like that. And on the other side, I can't remember if I mentioned in previous video or not. This is what I've put together. So it is M12 by 1.25, and I have written it here. So fuel filter, inlet manifold. What was it? So it's M12 by 1.25 into AN6 bend, and then into the pipe. And I've got like a couple of meters of this pipe, and I'm just gonna cut it when I need to when the engine is in the car eventually. Another thing that I have mentioned before is the clutch master cylinder. So it did come in, and I don't know if you can see very well, but it is very, very tight against the bulkhead. I can't actually remove the cap because it's that tight. So it actually fits fine, but the problem there is that obviously it's quite short, and well, it's just the actual reservoir that's really tight against the bulkhead. So I'm gonna get a piece of aluminium, something like that, and just space it out, probably about 10 to 15 mil, nothing too much. This does get in the way as well, unfortunately, just the vacuum pipe. So I'm either gonna have to redo it in rubber hose, or twist this, or bend this, or maybe when the master cylinder gets spaced out, it might actually fit. Another thing that I have done while I don't have any parts because I'm waiting for them, I've gone through the wiring. So these are the two plugs that are on OEM 1UZ loom, engine loom, and this plug is actually from a 2JZ engine loom. Originally, that's how it comes on Sora. So it's a three pin plug, which I have removed and swapped onto the 2JZ one. This plug does fit fine, and what I've done is, if anyone needs this information in future, I've gone through all of the pins and wires and noted down where they go and what they control. The only one I'm not sure about is this pin 6. Well, I've called it pin 6, but it may not actually be pin 6 on the pin, on the plug. But in my book, that's a white wire from that plug, and apparently it goes to pin 23 on the ECU, and that is AC clutch fan, which that might be the case, might not, but I need to double check. Other stuff just controls the injectors, fuel pump, and starter. And yeah, the diagnostic port, which is not really important for me at the moment. Obviously, EFI main relay is quite important. Temperature sensor and battery, that they might be quite good because if I think they go straight to the cluster, and therefore they might just work when the engine gets fitted and plugged in. So if that's the case, that's going to be a big win. But I'm going to find that out later on. Apart from that, the only other thing that I finally managed to get working is the indicators. Again, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in previous video or not. May have mentioned it, but for those who haven't watched previous videos, well, I had an issue where that's a new one. I'd never seen the oil light on. Yep, I've finally got the indicators working. That was just a missing relay. And another big thing, well, it's a big thing for me, is I finally got this little box, which is one thing that was missing, and it basically, as it turns out, controls this, and now it works. As you can hear, but you can't smell it, it absolutely stinks. It absolutely stinks because this car has been off the road for a long time. Obviously, some sort of animal has lived in here, and I don't really know what sort of conditions the car has been kept in. So it's not particularly nice smell. And this is such an annoying... Shut up. Yeah, it doesn't smell great currently when the fan blows, but I'm really happy that it actually works, because I was struggling to find that module for quite a while, and some people just wanted mega money, but there we go, it works, it's done, and I paid £50 for that unit, which is a really good deal. So, and the icing on the cake, I have removed the sump. So, as you can see, there are some bits of the sump. There's the lower pan, and then this goes on the middle section of the sump. But the actual aluminium part of the sump is not here, and that's because it's getting welded. Because I broke it. Yes, I missed the bolt. I will try to add a picture to this video. I might forget by the time I go to upload it, but yeah, I've managed to crack it. I double checked, triple checked all the bolts, and it appeared that all of them are out. And yeah, it just, there was so much silicone, I thought it was just glued in quite well, and then I heard cracking, and yeah, so the inlet manifold is getting welded. So not the inlet manifold, the sump is getting welded. The alternator, sorry, the starter motor is getting rebuilt at some point. It's still the original Toyota part, so I'm taking it somewhere to get rebuilt tomorrow. The alternator, I'm just going to leave it for now. Again, just so I don't get overwhelmed with all the constant repairs, and I just want to get the engine in the car and get it running. So I've got a notification that my clutch pedal's coming, so I'll be able to get some of that work done. Well, it's coming next Tuesday, so 2-3 days from time of filming, and I'm still waiting for the timing belt kit to come in. And once that is in, I'll be able to reassemble the whole front end of the engine, and at that point I just need to put the clutch on the engine and put the gearbox in and tidy up all this wiring, but I'm not sure whether to do it in the car or off the car. I kind of feel like some of it might be best to be done on the car, but then some of it might be done off the car. So yeah, I've still got some thinking to do about that. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's update. Not massive amount of work done, but it's still a slight step forward. So hopefully in the next update I will potentially have the engine completely assembled and ready to go. But you never know how long the parts will take to come in. So I've ordered the timing belt kit with the water pump and all the bearings and all the idler pullers and tensioner from Australia. The clutch pedals coming from Japan, and I've ordered them on the same day, and it seems like Japanese part is going to be here quicker, which is quite interesting. So yeah. And the very last thing. Well, that's all come from the sump. As you can see, it was clean. I've got the power steering pipes situated. This Supra ones fit fine. I just had to remove this relay box, and I think it wasn't even the same holes. It's just that this was getting in the way. So yeah, the Supra pipes just bolt in fine using the Supra brackets. I am, however, missing the brackets for this side. I have checked all the brackets that I have got left from Supra, and yeah, I seem to have binned them, unfortunately, or maybe I left them on the shell. So I'll have to come up with something how to fit that in place. So it needs to be roughly like that. So I'll just have to come up with some sort of idea how to fit this in place, or alternatively I can just run an external radiator oil cooler if I decide to. But realistically, I don't think this car will be driven in a way that will require an additional cooling system for the power steering fluid. So I think that's going to be it for sure. Fair bit of work done, but I always want to have more progress than I achieve. Hopefully, as parts start to come in, I'll be able to reassemble the engine. Hopefully the sump will also be back in a day or two, and then I'll be able to finish cleaning it and sorting out the bottom side of the engine. So thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date with my 1UZ Supra swap, consider subscribing. And until the next one.